Hey guys, it's me, and this is my long overdue review of Sleater-Kinney's newest album, No Cities to Love. Here it is, and this one came out earlier this year on Sub Pop Records. And by the way, I'm gonna start making some reviews of some of my favorite albums of this year so far, so stay tuned for that. And also, if you guys want, you can also go to one of my previous videos in my channel where I basically went through the packaging of this album, or the deluxe edition of the vinyl version of No Cities to Love, which is a really great packaging, so make sure that you check that out. But yeah, this album, like I said, No Cities to Love, it's the big comeback for Sleater-Kinney. They really didn't release anything since 2005, where they went on a long hiatus. And the previous album from 2005 was called The Woods, also another great album, and they're definitely one of my favorite bands ever. And I don't know if you guys are very familiar with Sleater-Kinney, but they're basically an all-female trio from Olympia, Washington State. And they got, I would say, fairly popular in the early 90s or in the mid 90s in the punk rock scene in the United States, at least. And basically because they got involved in the Riot Girl movement that got started during around that time in the mid 90s or so, along other bands like Bikini Kill or Bratmobile. And their style of music, I would say, is very unique. It's like a very high energy, they have very emotional vocals, and they're very guitar driven. They have no bass player, by the way, so it's all guitars and drums, and they're really great. They're one of my favorite bands ever. And just so you guys get an idea of how Sleater-Kinney sounds, let's check out a short clip of one of the tracks from this album, No Cities to Love. This one's called Surface Envy. Let's check it out. So just in a very short clip, that's how Sleater-Kinney's style of music sounds like. And as you can tell, it's a very high energy type of music. Really, the guitars, the vocals, and the drums really work together to create this very unique and really great sounding music. And in my opinion, this is one of their best albums, which is interesting because this is really what you would expect a new Sleater-Kinney album would sound like. By that I mean that they don't try to experiment with new sounds. They don't try to come up with a new genre or anything like that. They just stick to what they're good at. They're good at producing this kind of music, and they came up with a really great and kick-ass album. And to me, the part that I enjoyed the most about this album was kind of like the middle section. It was in between from track 3 from side A all the way to track 3 in side B. The whole album is really great, but the best tracks are in between that middle section, in between Surface Envy and Bury Your Friends. In fact, let's go ahead and listen to another short clip. This one is called, this one is actually the title track of the album, is No Cities to Love. Let's take a quick listen.
There are no cities, no cities to love. There are no cities, no cities to love. It's not the cities, it's the weather we love. Atomic tourist, alive inside.
So that was the song No Cities to Love by Sleater-Kinney, and great track from the album, but not necessarily my favorite song in the album. In my opinion, the best track in the album is track number 1 in side B, the song called No Anthems. It's such a great song, a fantastic song by Sleater-Kinney. probably one of their best songs ever, and they have a very long career, so very strong song. I really don't know why this song didn't get much attention on TV or like on the radio, because they did make a couple of TV appearances, like on TV shows, and they also released I think 1 or 2 music videos from the album, but they didn't play that song No Anthems, which I find really interesting, because in my opinion that's like the best track in the whole album. And actually, let's go ahead and take a quick listen to a short clip again from for this song, No Anthems. Let's take a quick listen. So yeah, that's my favorite song in the album, No Anthems by Sleater-Kinney. And I'll also put a link to that song so you can listen to it fully in the description section. So take a look at that as well. But anyways, for this album, one thing that I noticed was that a recurring theme in the whole album were lyrics about getting the band together, or what would longtime fans would think when they came back after a 10-year hiatus, especially in a song called Hey Darling. It's very clear that they're trying to show how they felt when they were, I guess, considering coming back from hiatus and releasing a new album and going back on tour. Again, let's listen to a short clip from this song, Hey Darling. Let's take a quick listen.
Hey darling, you're not home, this is your phone, no, right? Explanations are thin, but I feel it's time. You want to know where I've been for such a long time.
So the album does have very few weak spots. The songs that I like the least from No Cities to Love were Give Me Love and Fade, the very last song in the album. Which I'm not saying that they're bad songs, it's just that I don't think they were their best songs really. And it's kind of interesting because the deluxe edition of the album came with 2 extra tracks that came in a separate disc, and those 2 tracks are fantastic. They would have fit very well in the album, in the regular album. I don't know why they didn't decide to include those ones. If I were them, I would have chosen one of those songs to replace at least Give Me Love. But anyways, ended up being a really great album. Like I said, it's one of my favorite of the year so far. And I really give it a really good review. I'll give it 4.5 stars out of 5. Really, it's a fantastic album, and I really recommend you to go and check it out. If it's not this album, check out other albums by Sleater-Kinney. One of my favorite by them is the album called Dig Me Out. But anyways, that wraps up my review. I hope you liked it. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing a few more for some of the albums that came out this year that I consider my favorite so far. So stay tuned for that. Again, thanks for watching and take care. Bye bye.